everyone, Sarah Jean here. This is video number 2 of the day. Hopefully I will get through this okay. Baby's being behaved so far. So, gonna cross our fingers. I wanted to do a quick flip through, well, I wanted to do a journal tip share. I was talking with a few girls about journaling the other day in one of the Facebook groups, and I really love journaling in field notes or sometimes passport notebooks because they're nice and small, and so they fill up quickly and I don't feel like I'm never going to fill a page, and I really enjoy that. And I know a lot of people like me have that sort of blank page, new, pristine journal fear where they don't know how to start and they don't know where to start and they're afraid of messing the book up. And so what I've started to do over the last 2 years, which is when I've really gotten into journaling and journaling well and journaling often, is I tend to pre-set up pages. And so I wanted to just show some of the supplies I use to pre-set up pages. This is going to be my next journal. This is a field notes. It's the Shenandoah edition. It's their newest edition, and it's actually got thicker thicker paper than their previous editions. So I'm excited to try some of the mediums on it. I also was probably just going to quickly flip through some of my older journals to show you, what's going on in them. Usually the last pages of my journals, I just let my kids go nuts with markers and crayons and stuff. But some of these are a lot more artistic than others. Some have a lot more paint than others. If you take a look at one of the first ones I did, it hardly has any paint or anything at all. It's just a lot of journaling with some random stickers and things in it. So what I tend to do in these has evolved. This one happened to have like a lot of paint and stuff in it. Just a lot of bright colors. And I just wanted to show you the supplies I use. You can use inexpensive supplies, you can use expensive supplies, you can use whatever you have, and it's going to work. So, some of my favorite things to use are simple watercolors. And what I like to do is when I start a new journal, I sort of just very quickly go through and do a wash of color on some of my pages. This just has water in it, so I like to spritz my watercolors like that so they're sort of all wet at the same time. And okay, so people are going to ask this question: do your pages end up wrinkly? Well, it depends how much water you use and how heavy-handed you are. Sometimes, yes, sometimes they end up wrinkly. But as you can see, in most of these, they didn't really end up that wrinkly, and then once they sort of sat closed for a bit, they really smooth back out. And actually, I like that they're a little bit wrinkly because then it makes me that much less precious about thinking I'm going to ruin it. So it just depends. If you're really concerned about pages being wrinkly, or you really don't want any show through, you can coat your pages first with gesso. Gesso is basically just a flat or matte white acrylic paint. All you do is get a paintbrush, take some gesso, put a smooth coat of that on your page first, let it dry. It dries in like less than 5 minutes. And then that sort of makes a barrier between the water and the paper. Today I probably won't bother with that, but I will show you that honestly, and if you do a sort of almost dry brushing, I just sort of take color and I sort of just go nuts and just haphazardly apply it so that it sort of like intentionally messes up the book. And I don't have any rhyme or reason because later on when I actually get to journaling this page, it'll have things stuck to it. It'll have washi tape, whatever. Any watercolors work. Anything that I have that I'm showing, you can either get on Amazon or at Michael's. I think that's where I've gotten everything. It can be, a $1 set of watercolors or a more expensive set of watercolors. If you want to get real fancy, there's these Peerless watercolors, which are watercolor sheets that you can even make into like an insert, which I have done, but I don't actually actively carry this around. It doesn't matter, as long as you're getting color down on the page, that is the goal. Another thing that's really cool that you can do is water-soluble markers. These are the Paper Mate Flares, but you can use any marker that's a water-soluble marker. All you have to do is color some on your page. Color, color. And then take a wet brush, and because it's water soluble, it's going to react sort of like watercolors, which is super cool because I've done this like on the go on my lunch break at work. I've used some of the markers and then just taken like a water bottle and a paintbrush, and voila, now you've smeared some color. Now this page doesn't feel perfect and pristine. I'm not afraid to go in and use it later. Another thing that I really love to use are these Distress Dauber dyes stains by Tim Holtz. Like I said, Amazon or Michaels. These are great because it's just sort of ink in a dauber, like the old school bingo daubers. And all you do is smear some color on. Voila, super simple. Uh-oh, baby's getting crazy. Then I think finally, oh, there's other types of watercolors. If you guys really like shimmer, these are called sparkling H2Os. They're watercolors, but they have a fine mica in them. So they work just like watercolors, but they sort of have a sheen, which is really pretty. My other favorite thing to do, which is super simple, and I think I learned this online somewhere. I can't quite remember, but all you do is take regular old acrylic paint. It can be cheap stuff, it can be expensive stuff, it doesn't matter. And literally just drop a few drops. I usually like to do 2 or 3 colors at once. Whoops. Okay, that was a big drop. And a garden variety baby wipe. And smear it. Ta-da! Beautiful color. That's super simple, super inexpensive to do. Who doesn't have 50-cent acrylics that they have or can get, and baby wipes? I love that. That's probably one of my favorite things to do because I just love the smeared on color. It's a great spot for journaling. 2 pens that I love to use are these Sharpies. It's like an ink pen, so it draws like a big thick white line, which is great for going over darker backgrounds and adding dimension. You could also just use a whiteout marker though. That works just as great. Also, these Le Pens, which are permanent black pens, these are great also for writing over darker backgrounds. You might think, oh, well, I have Sharpies and Sharpies are permanent markers, but for some reason, Sharpies instantly dry out when you're using them on top of other mediums. I don't know why, but they do. These are great though, and I haven't had any problems with them. Sorry, I'm talking fast, but my battery's dying. Last but not least, I tend to keep a little basket, whoops, I hit the camera, of just random bits of paper and ephemera. Most of this I've taken off pen pal letters that I've gotten or tags from my daily life, and I sort of just keep this around, and when I'm setting up a new page, sometimes I go in, or like with my stamps, go in and just glue them down to the page to start so that there's one more element I already have on the page. So if I just want to sit down and jot down a few notes, I can. Journal page is ready to go. And I highly suggest any glue stick will work, but I find that using the Elmer's ones that are either the craft bond or the photo sticks or the slightly more expensive ones, I prefer them because they're archival, they're acid free, they're permanent, whereas, ooh, I hit you again, I'm sorry. Whereas I have used the school ones before, but I feel that once they dry, sometimes the pages or the whatever you've stuck down can peel off. So, you know, it's up to you. But I usually just buy like a 6-pack or a 10-pack all at once. It's not that expensive. They're easy to throw in my purse. I use them for everything. And the glue sticks don't warp the paper. They don't bend the paper. So I really like that. It's quick and simple and mess free. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about? I don't know. I was trying to go so fast because the baby was making noises and my camera battery is flashing at me like it's going to go dead. I mean, I think that's it. Like I said, just get in there. Just put something down on the page. Be messy. Be quick. I mean, you could, excuse me, you could set up this entire book ready to go with just splashes of color. I mean, in under 10 minutes. And then I'm telling you, it's going to be so much easier when you go back through and journal. And this may not look like much, but when you go back in later on, those colors are going to really stand out and they're going to really pop, and then you're going to do your journaling over them and you're going to add your pictures and your business cards and your whatever, and it's just going to, it's just another layer. I've really learned that layering things onto your pages just really helps. It's fun to like get out your artistic stuff onto a page and just go with it. and it may not look like much at first, but I promise you it's going to look like something great later. And I even double promise you that if you hate it at first, it'll be the thing you love later on. And I hope this helps someone. I hope I didn't talk too fast. And I would love to see your guys' pages. If you guys do videos, you know, make sure you let me know about them. And I hope you're having a fantastic day. Go out there, get messy, have fun. Talk to you guys later. Bye.